my God.
इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, one and all. We entire team of Franchise India welcomes you to Business Opportunity Over Chai webinar series. Franchise India is we are among top 10 management consulting companies in India, and we truly claims that no one sells more business than us because we have helped international and national brands in their expansion with our 70 plus offices, and we have helped thousands of investors in getting the right franchise and business opportunity from us. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Mr. Gaurav Maria, along with our second panel member, Ms. Sonia Chaudhary. During the course of the webinar, our aim is to represent the brand. We do not endorse any particular brand. During this webinar, you'll get a proper understanding from brand side about their brand, about their franchise model, as well as business model they are offering in market. And we'll take all your queries. The brand which we are presenting you presents the vertical of dark kitchen. And we invite Mr. Gautam Arya and Madhur Pawar, who's be talking about this brand and their brand for each one of you. Thank you so much, Gautam. Thank you so much, Madhu, for joining in. We are ready for your presentation.
Thank you so much. I will just start the screen sharing right away. I hope everyone can see the screen.
Yeah,
and
we
the
can
presentation.
See. Yeah, Madhu, if you can, Gautam, you want to start with first giving a little perspective of dark kitchen as an industry.
Yeah, that absolutely. So I'll just start and do that. So hi everyone, my name is Gautam and I have Madhur here with me. We represent a company which is into dark kitchen and cloud kitchen infrastructure. I think it's very important to understand that this industry, while it has started to boom now, it has been in the limelight for quite a few years now, and that all started because of the delivery industry. So as we all know, I think before 2014, there was hardly anything which was known as an online digital platform for food delivery. that had changed with Food Panda, then Swiggy, Zomato, and Uber Eats came in the picture. Multiple players started off with multiple offerings and a business proposition. So that is where digital ordering or a focus on more online orders started off. With this, I think that we have seen a lot of jump in terms of number of users who have been on these platforms, the amount of revenue that has been on these platforms, and the number of orders that we have seen on day-to-day basis. So if I just talk about some basic numbers, it has grown by 300% faster than dine-in industry. And simultaneously, if I just talk about the number of users, we have already touched 161 million users in 2019, and the industry is set to touch 234 million users. So that's a big growth considering the kind of market India was, which was not so, I would say, tech friendly, or was not comfortable with using any sort of tech platform for any basic need, be it food ordering. Now the revenue of the industry has already reached $8 billion in 2019 within India, and now we can clearly see that with the current growth rate, it can easily reach $13 billion by 2023. Now, why this delivery aspect is important is because this is the primary reason why this cloud kitchen industry came into the picture and started growing rapidly. Because I think we all know that the platforms itself took took the overall delivery market and changed the view of how people looked at it. Now, knowing the same, I think while they have they have been able to present a lot of opportunities for everyone, and they have given a quick growth for the overall market, but they have also left some gaps in the ecosystem, which I think are important to fill up. So while Zomato and Swiggy started off with their real estate model, so that was Zomato Kitchens and Swiggy Access, both these models had one thing in particular, which was if any brand is doing well, let's say on Zomato already, they are going to take that brand to another of their location. They're going to help them expand. They're going to make sure that they invest for them as well. And simultaneously, they will maintain an exclusivity right. So that exclusivity right means that they will not be able to sell anywhere else, be it on the competing platform or be it on through offline sales measures. So there was no other sales channel available for them while these two platforms were there. Then Rebel Foods came in the market, and after, I think it struggled for a couple of years, and now it has become a very prominent name and a very famous name in the market. And with that, Rebel Foods has created a different, I would say, a brand image for cloud kitchens now. Considering the kind of model, the shared kitchen model and the multiple brand model that it runs with, it has created a different model. But even then, there is a need. This leaves a lot of need because even Rebel Foods is somewhat dependent on the Swiggy and Zomato model. So I think I would just quickly go through the gaps, the kind of gaps that these were creating. So while the market was growing and it was quickly improving, I think the self-delivery model and the takeout model, or basically anything from a kitchen, was almost blocked. That was one problem. Then, like I said, there was an exclusivity clause involved, so there was people could not go on the competing platforms. Then there was also a problem that there was, I mean, the kind of, if I just have one restaurant brand which is running from a particular location, the kind of costing that come up for all the commercial licenses, all the basic commercial setup, and over and above helping services, I think the cost goes fairly higher. So I think in order to get a better unit economics, it is important that we create a shared space, a shared kitchen space system where it's easier for brands to share all these costings, and it reduces their overall cost burden. And also simultaneously, right now, with the current pace and with how things are emerging in the market, it's very important that we look at alternate measures just other than these two platforms, because these two platforms have very high commissions on them. So partners have been suffering a lot because of those high commissions and costs. They are also looking for alternate measures. So I'll ask Madhu to take over from this one.
Yeah, so just adding on to what Gautam was saying, so the intention here, what we are trying to do here is to create an ecosystem which not only benefits the property owners who are creating these kitchens, and not only the brands which are working here, but to create an ecosystem which benefits all, and try to reduce the common costings where we can share those expenses, and in turn can create a economically feasible food market, not only in the tier 1 but also moving to tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because these are the markets which are not actually been exploited till now. So I'll briefly tell you about us. We currently are live in 80 locations. We are growing every day. We have more than 350 plus kitchens occupied currently, and we're doing around a lakh orders per month from our kitchens. There are 500 plus brand listings live from these locations, and currently about 70 to 75% of all our locations are occupied. And if I talk about the prime locations, they are actually 100% occupied, and we have a demand for more in tier 1 cities and zones like let's say Gurgaon or Mumbai or Pune. We actually have more demands than the sites we have. Yeah, Gautam, if you can move to the next slide. Yeah, so these are the locations, just for all the people here to tell you about our footprint. We are in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. We started off with Delhi, and we have exploited the Punjab market. We've gone to UP, we've gone to Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Jaipur, Dehradun. So we've tried to create a market everywhere, and I'll be sharing how we have done that. And so, or not all properties have that are there which we have bought, but we have taken multiple models to gather these sites and to provide business opportunities to folks around all these cities. Next slide, Gautam, please.
Is the slide is visible, right?
Yeah. So yeah. So these are the basic reasons why most of the brands want to join us. So like we said that we try to share the cost for multiple things, and that is why, so there's a reduced capex risk and time. So whenever a brand wants to go into a new market, or if any restaurant wants to open up or a delivery kitchen wants to open up, the first expense which comes to mind is obviously the creation of the kitchen, and you have to go to that new city and you have to scout for which zone is actually good for you, and then you have to do your market reiki, and so this itself, the launch cost in itself is pretty high. What we do is we not only do this reiki for you, but we have people in house who are experienced folks in the delivery space, from different aggregators, from different brands, who help you understand which market is actually good for your particular brand. And not only that, we try and pinpoint exact high population density zones or high order zones in multiple locations, and help you reduce this capex cost, and simply provide you a plug and play kitchen, and you can go there and start with your operations. We have our own in-house softwares for all the maintenance and deliveries. We have a supply chain which we intend to support our brands with, to bring down their cost, and we help you with the aggregators tie-up, and then of course the kitchens are up to standards, and they are in guidelines with FSSAI and WHO, and thus they are approved across. Yeah, next slide, please. So moving on to the next slide. So these are things we provide to our brands which are housed in our kitchens. One is of course the infrastructure, from the ventilation to LPG gas connection, water connections, electricity. So these are all things which take almost a month to 45 days of time for anybody who's moving to a new location. And these are things which are which you already have when you move to one of our locations. There's an operations team which handles your daily deep cleaning services, who handle the CCTV, the Wi-Fi, and these services. These are all maintained by our dark kitchen infrastructure's operation team. And your regular CCTV rents, your let's say generator backup, pest control of the zone, and the freshener and air exhausters, which amounts to a high amount of expenditure. It is shared among all the kitchens, and thus brings down your own cost. We also provide certain value-added services. We have our own POS. We have a marketing in-house and branding team, which helps your brand grow. We help you create your own website so that not only you get orders from aggregators like Zomato, Swiggy, or Amazon, which is coming in soon, but you also have orders on your own platform, and thus the commission aspect goes lower and your profitability increases. And we also provide delivery riders. We provide you legal and operational support, and we're expanding these value-added services every day as per the needs of brands which are housed in our kitchens.
So I'll be taking on the process of how we basically develop the whole model. When we start off, I think it's very important that we firstly have an understanding about the kind of partners that we want for every location. If we are targeting, let's say, a location in Delhi, we would have in mind that, okay, with the specific set of data that we understand and we have, these are the kind of orders that we'll receive. This is the kind of ticket size that is there in the zone. This is the kind of I would say the acceptability of these many cuisines. So based on all of that, based on the understanding and the demographics and the order level data, we try and make sure that we identify the best set of partners. Now, when we know the partner set, and we simultaneously have to look at creating the site, so that like Madhu specified, that we move forward with a lot of models. So these models can be, briefly just to tell you, that these can be that we develop it on our own, we acquire it, or we move towards a model where we get a ready-made kitchen and we just operate on it. So there are multiple types of models that we work for, and these are just in terms of handling a particular situation based on the kind of market that's present in the city, in that particular city. Now, right after that, it's a very important that we have to put in basically the demand side for the brands as well. So be it for bulk ordering, private parties, events, be it for any sort of other tie-ups, be it for platform tie-ups. This is something that we focus on. And right after that, we have to simultaneously work on, I would say, the complete development of the project and customization to whichever extent for the brands, because everyone has a specific way of working. So we have to make sure that we are flexible enough and give them a flexible enough system to just plug and play with the minor customizations that are required. Then it's very important that we also have a good network in terms of whatever is required. So be it for any sort of requirement, be it staffing, be it a supplier requirement, be it equipment requirements. So we have to maintain a good network of all these vendors. And what we try and do is we ensure that we are able to enable our partners with these sources that we already have in every location. Then comes site maintenance. So that part is majorly taken care by our operations team. We ensure that there are seamless operations and a comfortable movement towards the major goal, and that's basically delivering food through every platform or through every means possible. And simultaneously, we also provide tech support for as many things as required, and we keep understanding, and this is basically a learning cycle for us as well, that we keep understanding whatever is required, and we move forward, and we try and build in a tech platform for that, just to ensure better and smoother operations. Simultaneously, the last thing, which is very important given the current times, while it was always important since the start, I think with the current times with COVID, the importance of keeping the sites clean and sanitization have gone up have gone up multiple levels higher. So we are ensuring that these things are in check. Now, just to give you an understanding, this is how our kitchens look. So these are properly commercially well-built kitchen with everything in place which is required. Equipments and non-equipments is something that we do. These are separate type of models, but we usually the complete infrastructure, be it including plumbing, be it including RO, be it including basic CCTV, Wi-Fi, gas banks, keeping in mind all the kind of licenses that we require and all the kind of approvals that we require. Everything is already in place. We have a lot of clients, be it smaller names or bigger names. These are some of the bigger names who are present across India. So I'm sure these names would ring a bell for you guys. These are already on board with us, and we have a lot more, I would say, local heroes who are who have already started their operations with us, and they have been doing exceptionally well from our kitchens.
Yeah, Gautam, could you just go back 2 slides? Yeah. So just wanted to explain to our, to the viewers here. So these kitchens, how they are different is that there are kitchens with 100 square feet of space. There are kitchens with 500 square feet of space. There are kitchens which are a kiosk, like 100 square feet, and there are kitchens which are 800 to 1000 square feet. So these are ideal for different sort of models. When we talk about 800 square feet, it is ideal to run 4 to 5 brands, or it is ideal to run a base kitchen while running 3 to 4 brands from that kitchen. There's a 100 square feet kiosk, which is ideal for probably small brands, small operational brands, for a dessert brand or for ice cream shake counter. And then there are kitchens which is a standard size, which is 300 to 400 square feet, which is ideal for most of the cuisines and for running 1 to 3 brands from per kitchen. And so I just wanted to highlight this because we'll going forward when we'll be discussing the model, you'll see how this is related to. Okay, so let's move to the FOCO model. So we did discuss about the food industry, how it is changing its face from not only dining but moving very strongly towards delivery. And what it brings is this brings us an opportunity, not only to the restaurateurs but also to people out there with real estate who probably have so a lot of people have suffered in terms of the rentals falling. The dine-in aspect has gone down. A lot of malls have been shut down. And then there are brands who were investing very heavily in their dine-in spaces, and they had these huge sit-in places in malls or market zones. But and their business is currently coming in from delivery only, or maybe 20% is coming from dine-in. So a lot of brands are moving towards a delivery model, and how different how this brings an opportunity to all of us is what we're going to discuss further. The first model which we guys are working with is a FOCO model, and we invite all the entrepreneurs with access to 1,000 plus square feet of real estate space to become kitchen owners and help us bring occupancy and business to these properties. So what we intend to do here is people with kitchen space with real estate space available, they can start working with us. We help. They have to invest in the construction and the creation of the kitchen alongside with deployment of different amenities, whether it be water, gas, electricity supply lines, ducting in the kitchens. They have to invest in this aspect. So because we have folks who have been experienced and have worked with multiple aggregators and multiple brands, we can help bring down their this investment cost by, I believe, 40 to 30 to 40% for any site. And then post that, the main part where the business part comes in is where we help these sites which are prepared. So we make sure that the occupancy and restaurant owners are brought to that kitchen because of our network and because of the number of brands we are working with. We take care of the operational and the maintenance of the entire site. So the site is created by the property owner, but it is totally taken care about by our operations team, and there is nothing which post this, which the property owner would be responsible for. The guidelines which we give to the property owners, he has to follow that and help us create a kitchen which is feasible and plug and play for most of the brands which are coming in. And then we use our networks and our expertise to bring in the most suitable brands there who have a sustainable business. From the commercial aspect, the intention here is that, so we bring in these kitchens and assuming a standard size of 300 square feet kitchen in every kitchen, and let's say a property has 1000 square feet and we create 3 kitchens with 320 square feet of carpet area, then the intention would be that all the brands which are coming in, we'll onboard them on a 10% of their net business, net GMV, or 30,000 as a minimum rent, which they would be giving to us. And now, because we are invested in their GMV, therefore, and our revenue model is dependent on how well they do, and that is why we have this team of digital marketeers and folks from different aggregators and who are experienced in the field, which will help these brands to grow and thus increase the revenue both for the property owner and for us. The property owners are eligible to receive 60% of the net revenue collected as a rent from these 5 brands which are there. The numbers can vary by let's say a little here and there based on the location and based on the tier of the city. But all in all, this is what the model looks like. So this provides an opportunity to people who have distressed properties, an opportunity to folks who have not been able to use their kitchens. So I know a lot of dine-in brands which had huge base kitchens, and post COVID, these kitchens are not put into good use, and they have state-of-the-art equipments and things which are, and the kitchen is created in a very good fashion, but the kitchen is no use right now. So here is where we come in, and if people have a prepared kitchen also, we're more than happy to have a look at it and see if the location is good and take it on board with us, and we help you bring in occupancy to these kitchens. In turn, the brands which will come and work here will be benefited. The property owners will be benefited, and in turn, so we've tried to create this sustainable model which benefits all, and everybody's skin is in the game. So everybody intends to do the best on their parts, and in the end, it's a sustainable revenue model. And it is going to be long term, because the delivery kitchens and the delivery cloud kitchen space is not going anywhere. It is only going to go upwards, as we have seen as a trend from multiple countries. And as India grows and moves into a global economy, people really don't have time to cook food every day. And this is a trend which is being seen not only in tier 1 but tier 2, tier 3 cities. Again, and like I am highlighting again and again, because I really believe that the tier 2 and tier 3 cities have a great say here, and they can change the game for good. Cities like Chandigarh, like Jaipur, like Ranchi, these cities definitely have a lot of properties which do not know their potential as of now. So that's the first model. Gautam, if you can take the next one.
Yeah. So I think while it's important that we first model is purely about how we build up our kitchen operations, how we are acquiring kitchens, or how we are finding locations. It's important that we work on a model where it's also about finding the right kind of brand names, and preferably giving a franchise, pushing a franchisee model ahead. So this is where we basically take up a master franchisee of a lot of brands, and what we do with that master franchisees, we can enable a lot of other brands to use this brand name, and we can provide multiple things. We can take care of multiple aspects within the supply chain and the kitchen, and basically most parts of it for a smoother operations. And the anyone who's starting off a new model, or was basically recently gotten interested in this industry and wants to open up a kitchen but do not know which brand they want to. So these are some of the options that we can provide, because we have the master franchisee rights. So we here actually invite all the restaurants, basically all restaurant brands, who can come with us on board with us and go for any city and give us a master franchisee agreement. So where this happens, we will be able to quickly expand their model because we have multiple locations in almost every city. So with that, it will be a really quick and a very swift expansion model with everything being taken care of, and it will be easily managed by us because we have, like I said, the on ground team is right there available, and they have an understanding and the vendor contacts for everything. So while these restaurants, for master franchisee, it's very important that there is a set specific recipe, there's a set specific SOP. The each and every item that is being prepared by a certain way, and the staff is supposed to function in a certain way. So all these things are being taken care of. These things are in a check already, and this is something that we can easily do, and we can expand really fast. So this is something that we can so this can be an exponential growth, because with the multiple cities that we already are in, this can be an easy access for growth for the major brands. So like I said, we will be able to take care of most of these things. Like I said, we will be able to take care of kitchen staff. We can help you hire them yourself. We can take care of raw material costs. We can take care of the kitchen rentals, the camp charges. So all of the onus would be on us. We will be able to handle the franchisee on our own with our own staff, or we'll be able to give it ahead to another kitchen player who wants to get on board and wants a brand to start off with. So this is something that we can do. For that, we will easily the existing model that's very well known in the market, which is the royalty amount, is something that we would that would be definitely a part of this model, that there would be a royalty amount. So this is something that we do. The next model will be taken care by Madhur. Can you please take over?
Yeah. We also have a lot of brands which are a part of which have been working with us, and so this is the main model which we started off with, and that is to provide people or brands who want to expand into multiple cities an opportunity to go and plug and play and quickly launch into new city and check if that city works for them. We have, like I highlighted earlier, we are live in 80 locations currently, and anybody who wants to get a site from 100 square feet to 2,000 square feet can come in and can work with us. So the rental aspect obviously works. Like we charge 10% of the net GMV of a particular brand, or 100 per square feet, whichever is higher. The number of brands you can run from a kitchen are limited. It is totally up to you. You can run different cuisines. You can run different AOV based. I mean, the average order value based. The brand can be cheaper. It can cater to a higher segment of market. It can segment to a lower segment of market. You can run multiple brands which are catering to different segments of the market at the same time. And what we in return provide you. So see, in a normal scenario, what would a brand do? It would go to a location, it will do its Reiki, it will find a place, it will start constructing the kitchen, it will start understanding the market of, okay, so where do I need to do, what marketing I need to do, where do I need to do offline flyering. In case of if they plan to come to work with us, and they come to us, let's say for example they want to work in Gurgaon. So we directly pinpoint to them that there are these 4 locations, and these particular locations are good for these particular cuisines. And if you are willing to launch the XYZ brands from these locations, we believe that this is the kind of business you can reach it to, let's say, in the next 3 months or 4 months. So the infrastructure part is taken care by us. The gas connections, the water drainage, the electricity points. So these are all the connections. The hassle is not there. All the connections are in place. You simply go there, you plug and play, and so obviously these are charged and they are billable as actuals from the brand owners. We take care of the maintenance. There's a electricity backup which is available. There are CCTVs which are installed. The rentals are nominal because for the CCTV and the installation, because it is distributed amongst 5 to 6 different kitchen owners in one particular location. Similarly, any pest control which takes place, and the hub coordinator or the housekeeping guy or the person who is taking care of operations at the particular site is again distributed your security personnel's cost is again distributed, and therefore the compounded cost of a single kitchen is brought down by almost 20 to 30% for these extra expenditures. The services we provide, we have a center operation team, we have folks who are there from the operations team also, and from the marketing team, which help you grow and make sure that your operations don't stop. We help you interact with the aggregators as well. Like I said, a lot of ex-aggregator players are with us right now, and they help your business grow. And so in this model, we are offering up kitchens to any existing or new brand owners who would like to come in and explore any new locations at a 10% net GMV, whatever business they do, or 100 per square feet, whichever is higher. Yeah, Gautam?
Yeah. I think the last one, the last model is for any kitchen enthusiast who wants to enter the industry and is looking for an opportunity and wants a little support for the start, doesn't have a brand in mind. So like I said, because we have the master franchisee rights for some, plus there are some homegrown brands, plus there are some acquired brands that we already have from our we are running from our kitchens. We'll be able to provide you an opportunity to join us using those brands, basically become a franchisee of that brand, a sub franchisee of the brand, and you'll be able to take that brand ahead, and we'll be able to support you like Madhu specified in the previous slide, that how we work towards a model of growth for all our partners. This would help because this would be a known name. This known name would be easier for us to expand and to grow, because we understand how the market works. Like Mother also specified, that we are people from who have worked in these platform companies, so we understand how to grow business. So as a collective team, we are people who have been in this industry for a very long duration. We understand how things work on platforms, off platforms. We understand how operations work, how costs can be reduced, because we have people from every aspect of the industry, and they have been working in the industry for a fairly long time. So we bring in our collective, I would say, uh, skills, and we try and provide all of this to all our brands. So people who are not having who don't have their own brands, this is something that we can provide to them as well, because we feel that every sort of model is important. No matter what kind of a partner we get on board, the partner is extremely important for us to get on board. So this is one model that the partner can easily get on board without a lot of, I would say, thought process or a lot of investments. Just a basic idea about how things would work, and we'll provide the franchisee rights, and they can start their operations. With that, there will be multiple things that will be taken care of. The aspects would include, like I said, the kitchen staff and training, because obviously they need to be within the franchisee model. It's very important that a specific way is followed. Raw material supply would be a part of it. Recipes and brand insights would be a part of it. And obviously the basic setup of the kitchen, how the kitchen is supposed to be set up, how the operations would run. This, like I said earlier, the SOPs are going to be an extremely important part of it. So while there is a renter commercial, there is also a brand loyalty commercial that comes into play. So this is an amalgamation of the second and the third module that we are doing here, and hence there is a combined fee. But this is, I would say, much better managed, and much I would say, we are, the amount of effort that we put in are far higher. So that's about it. These are the four models that we operate with. We will be happy to get any sort of partners on board for any of these models, because we feel, like I said, that any of these opportunities are great opportunities for us. We will be able to utilize these opportunities, be it in terms of creating more supply, be it in terms of creating more demand of the restaurant industry, or simultaneously creating more opportunities for the restaurant industry. So this is what we are trying to do. We are going to focus more in the future on offline sales as well. So there are multiple things that we are trying to do simultaneously, and we'll be happy to take people on board.
Yeah, so just adding to what Gautam said, so like we said, there are 4 models here. There is also an option to club a couple of models. Like you can always be a part of the FOCO model, provide your properties and help us create this kitchen there, and which we'll be putting on rent. While you can also use one of the kitchen spaces or a couple of kitchen spaces to with these brands or your own brand. So all these models are very much flexible to get combined into a hybrid model also. And so for example, if a person with a let's say 1500 square feet kitchen wants to provide their space to us and uses, let's say, 400 square feet or 500 square feet to house some of our brands, so we can definitely come into a model where the model number 1 and 4 are combined, and a person can not only lend out his property, but at the same time he can also start his own operations in one of our known brands or his own concept or a new brand.
Now we would ask our participants to give us as many questions as you can. Now I see a few have already typed a few questions, so we'll start off with those questions. I'll address the first one. So GMV is a common term in the restaurant industry. It means gross monthly value, which basically means the kind of revenue a person has earned on a particular platform. So it can be a combined GMV of from all the sources of business that a person has, or it can be platform specific.
Sure. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Madhu. Let me take some questions for the audience, and thanks for giving us a good overview about the dark kitchen business, which is very well explained. So let's start with because you've not really touched upon the team which is behind this. So would you like to give us first a background about the founders, and what is the background, what kind of business is being done, who are the promoters of the company?
Thank you for that. We are currently working in a stealth mode. We have a good financially backed organization. We have people from different aggregators. We have folks who have worked with the Rebel Group or big chains which are currently growing, which have done well in the past 3 to 4 years. We have folks from aggregators, and we have all come together to create this ecosystem. And we are financially backed by investors who are part of higher IT.
Because this is an investment and we are reaching out to potential investors, it will be very specific if we can get on to who are the founders. Specifically, it would be more beneficial because this is very important, because end of the day we are going into market and raising capital. So it's very important to present who's the CEO, who's the founder for the business. So while I appreciate that you all have young.
So Mr. Gaurav, we'll be happy to reveal that to folks who are coming on to for discussion. We currently want to keep that in a stealth mode, considering our business model is something new, and but we'll be happy to get on one-on-one calls and explain to them about our organization, and definitely we'll be very open about it. It's just that from the platform currently, because of the way we want to expand this, we want to reach to a lot of folks first, and then we'll want to reveal that, and that's working in a stealth mode. I'm really sorry about that, but yes, we are backed by investment firms, which are further backed by companies like Facebook and Amazon.
Sure. So I think it's while I appreciate what you want to hold this information, but let's get into the second question I have. And which is the models which you've done, and whatever little I've understood on these 4 models. One is an infrastructure model where you're telling somebody to put investment in the kitchen infrastructure, where you would run and operate the business and provide a return, which is what your FOCO is. And the other 3, I don't think it's required for this platform, because this is only a franchise platform, and we are only raising franchise investments. So let's limit our discussion to the FOCO model which we're doing. In the FOCO model, when somebody puts in infrastructure, what kind of investment would go into, and give us a size what looking at? That's one. Second, which are the locations you are looking?
Yeah. So from the cost perspective, a lot depends on what the current site location is. Like for example, if it is a old kitchen which is decommissioned now or hasn't been in use for, let's say, for the past 4 or 5 months due to the COVID scenario, and they want to share that with us, the construction cost comes down by a lot, because a lot of things are in place. But for, let's say, for a site which houses 1,500 square feet to 1,500 to 1,800 square feet from scratch, and you have to start building this kitchen, the investment comes out somewhere around 18 to 20 lakhs minimum for anybody. But with the construction folks which we have and the expertise we have, we try and bring this down by 30 to 35%, and we try to put in our in-house expertise into this. So we can actually get it done for 15 to 16 lakhs for the property owners.
So if you're a
And
property,
the sorry, please go on.
so for what you're saying is that this is option for both. If you are a property owner or you can rent it out a property, the investment would range from what you said, from 15 lakh rupees to you were breaking up in between.
Yeah, so anywhere between 20 lakhs, something which is the cost for something which starts from scratch, but we help you bring down that cost from 30-35% lower than what this like from 20 lakhs, because we have folks who are working on multiple sites at this time. And not only that, they have a so you have to be smart while constructing the kitchen, and there are a lot of things which can be termed like which can be placed commonly, like for example, an air freshener which costs somewhere around 1 to 1.5 lakhs can be a common freshener for almost 6 kitchens. And if the construction is done right, similarly, there are multiple construction ends which help you bring down that net cost. Yes, you can have your own property and create a kitchen on that. Also, you if you will, you can lease out a property from an particular owner, and you can create a kitchen, and further you can work with us where we sublet the property. So both the options are there, and we, in fact, we have a lot of sites which are working on both these models.
Okay, that's helpful. So they obviously help you in terms of doing it. A lot of infrastructure is also available which can be taken over, so to bring the cost down. Now let's and the FOCO itself, because it means by nature, because I'm just doing in the interest of the investors, it is franchisee owned, company operated. So you will run and operate.
That's right.
And what kind of return an investor would look at, say, if somebody puts in 20 lakh rupees, and because he's not running and managing, what kind of return one can really expect, and how you would make sure that that return is so to say guaranteed to the investor?
Yeah. So, Mr. Gaurav, so like I said, so whenever you're launching a new kitchen, based on the market, we take a grace period of somewhere from 60 to 90 days to help you get that occupancy in. And for whatever brands which are coming in, we charge them, like I said, about 30,000 minimum rental, or 10% of the GMV, whichever is higher. So that is that when a brand starts operations in one particular kitchen and it is growing for the first couple of months, the business is obviously not that high. It can be somewhere, let's say somebody reaches 4 lakhs, somebody reaches 5 lakhs. But the end game here is that, let's say 4 or 5 months down the line, when the brand starts hitting 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, that's the time when the revenue, touches 80,000, 90,000. And if you're talking about 5 kitchen in one location and 1,500 square feet of space housing three different players who are, let's say, doing 10 lakh rupees of business. So that amounts for every kitchen coming out to be 1 lakh. So that's 5 lakh rupees of GMV, 5 lakh rupees of rental from those 5 kitchens. If some are doing well, some are not doing well, which is the case. So I can say, like, in 6 months or so, if the kitchen is doing somewhere around 36 lakhs, so 3.6 lakhs would be the total rental which will be covered. And 60% of this rental is for the property owner, and 40% is what we keep, and we use that to maintain the sites and the operational cost and the operation team which is present on ground. Yeah, that's it.
Just to explain everybody, what they do is that if you put in an investment of, say, 1,500 square feet, you bring 5 kitchens inside. 5 kitchens would give 30,000 rupees minimum rental. for the.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
So it becomes one.
Yes. So 1.5 lakh. Yeah. So once all the kitchens are occupied, that 1.5 lakh would be the minimum rental which we would be receiving at the very start, like this is the first month, and 60% of that would be eligible for the property.
So I'm just keeping a base rental, say 5 kitchens, 1.5 lakh rupees becomes 1.5 lakh rupees. Out of that, 60% would be given to the property owner, so to say property who brings in, which means that he would get 90,000 rupees and you get almost about 60,000 rupees. That's what the calculation would come out to be. And out of the 90,000 rupees, what would be the expenses of the kitchen owner? Or you would take care of all the expenses which are rentals and other places for the property?
So we do any other expenses which are in the form of operations would be taken care by us. That's exactly what the model would take care of. It's the initial investment that the property owner has to take care of.
So it becomes a very interesting model where, say, 15 odd lakh rupees you invest and put this whole infrastructure. They bring in 5 kitchens. 5 kitchens, 30,000 rupees is the base. It can be higher than that, which is the revenue share, which is 10% total value. So if the kitchen is, say, doing a sale of an X number, which means that, say, even if it is doing a number of 20 lakh rupees, then 10% would be 2 lakh rupees, and you get 60% of that 2 lakh rupees, which means that you get 1,20,000 rupees fixed. You don't carry any expenses. All the rentals and everything are taken care by the company. Now, who is signing the lease deed? Are you signing the lease deed or the franchisee signing the lease deed?
We are signing the lease deed.
So lease is on them, so the responsibility of obligation of the lease goes in. Now, there are 2 open points which are left, and then I'll pass it on to Sonia on this particular model. One is that how is this 5 kitchens guaranteed that these kitchens would come and they would pay 30,000 rupees because the potential franchisee is not participating? That's one question I have. And second is, what is a lock-in term which would be there in the whole structure? Because over the time, this looks interactive, but how lock-in would be done, and how do you ensure that lock-in? And if for reasons one kitchen has to change or new operator has to come, how is that being handled? Because there can say 3 months from now, 2 kitchen left, and then the revenues can suddenly drop, and 60% would also mean drop of that. So how do you really make sure? Is there a minimum benchmark also you will agree to give it to the franchisee so that he gets his return because he's not participating on a day-to-day operations?
So of course we have thought about this, and what we have done is we are going to, based on the location, so whichever locations which we are highlighting are locations for which we sort of get a lot of demands for, and therefore these are high demand zones already, and a lot of players want to come in. But yes, in between of, let's say, iteration, if a particular brand leaves, we take a period of about 45 days to cover to get that kitchen filled again. Obviously the intention is to do it much earlier, but that's 45 days is the period which we say that, okay, so that's the maximum we will get the kitchen occupied in. And also, one thing I missed earlier was that when we are in that initial 60 to 90 days of phase, where we are giving you where we are starting to fill in the kitchens, during that phase we only charge you 4,000 rupees per kitchen. That's it. For that phase, while all the 5 kitchens are not occupied and while a certain GMV is not being reached. So for that point of time, we just charge you 4,000 rupees per kitchen. So that means that the rest of that 30,000, that's 26,000, that goes directly to the property owner.
Very helpful.
So, yeah.
And there are a lot of locations people are looking at. Sonia, if you want to take that location also.
Sure. Thanks, Gautam and Madhur. I think first and foremost, because you mentioned you're currently operating out of, I think 60 or 80 odd sites you mentioned, and we have a lot of people who come with properties. So one, what locations would be your priority to get into? And also if you can advise, because some locations you might already have a bigger capacity or infrastructure available. And if these locations are also available for new infrastructure to be developed, there are some cities like that. And if there are certain locations where you have an infra and you think these are under-serviced market and you would like to add more. So if you can talk a little bit on the locations, please.
Yeah. So from the location aspect, obviously the intention is to go into zones which are supply deficit or which have high delivery orders, and of course that is something which is high in the tier one zones and tier one markets. Also, we need to see whichever site we are going into that has the location itself is accessible to these riders and all. So what we are looking at is that whoever is interested can reach back to us, because for every location and every site, the Reiki which goes in, it has to be in line with the number of orders in that particular zone. For example, if somebody from Indore wants to give their kitchen to us, so we will have to pinpoint the location in Indore particularly and see what is the population density across and about that area, what is the growth pattern going in terms of density. Is that particular location going to pick up in the next, let's say if it is right now at a medium scale, in next 1 to 1.5 years, the projection shows that it can go into high ordering zone. And therefore the zone, there's not particular location we are looking in for, but people who are interested from tier 1 and tier 2 cities, if they can share us with their location, and so that is when we can actually see if that falls under our plan. But one thing which we would want is obviously the properties with, there's no a problem if the property is on first floor or second floor, till the time it is easier for the riders to get the orders, and there is correct positioning of stairs and lifts and all. So there's no constraint of the floor. We can work in a basement also. We can work because it's a dark kitchen, till the time the infrastructure is aligned such that that person it is feasible to work in that basement. So no construction aspect there. But yes, we will have to check from the aggregator's point of view and from the serviceability point of view if that particular location has a high delivery zone. If you are living in a, if your property is anywhere in a good population zone, I think 90% of the time it's green for us, till the time the property is not any under any sort of distress from legally or something. So that should not be an issue. And we are looking for all tier 1 and tier 2 locations.
Okay, so
One more thing, I'm so sorry, I just add on to it. One more thing that is extremely important for us when it comes to finding a kitchen location, I think where how well accessible it is, because we have to understand the accessibility of the kitchen. If it's, let's say it's on the first floor, on the basement or the second floor, if the staircase isn't good enough, we have to bring in a lot of big equipments for the partners. So even that is one another thing that we have to keep in check.
all right. No, I'll take very specifically because we have some viewers who've put in their city location and also what kind of area they have, and they wanted to understand if it is viable. We can get them on a one-on-one discussion. We can't have all the detailing out here, but we can definitely take out some information. So we have Mr. Arjun Sachdeva. He's from Okhla. Rather, he has a commercial property in Okhla, which is about 2,200 square feet into 4 floors. And it also includes a basement. So overall, this is about 12,000 square feet of area. And he would like to understand if something like this is worth a discussion and can be explored with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is something which we would obviously be interested in. Obviously, we'll have to see the site first. But yes, from the onset of it, the Okhla zone is a good zone, and 2,200 square feet is in itself is a good zone, a good area enough to create, let's say, 5 to 6 decent kitchens. Although we would have to see if we want all the spaces in one go, because for that we will have to see the population density and again the order volume and how many kitchens can actually sustain in that zone. But yes, we are absolutely interested in Okhla, and we can take this conversation ahead probably after this.
I'll take one from Kolkata. So we have Anindya Roy, and they have a location on the first floor in Salt Lake, which is about 1,400 square feet. So one, if this location is okay, and second, if we can also talk about typical investment for a franchisee. I'm not sure if we've touched upon the investment and what typically would be investment for somebody to get into.
Yeah. So for an area of for an area around 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, generally the construction cost comes somewhere from 18 to 20 lakhs, like I highlighted earlier. But that would also be dependent on what the current status of the site is. Sometimes it can be totally blank, and the construction has to begin from the starting, including the walls creations and all. So generally it's 18 to 20 lakhs. But like I said, with the operational expertise and real estate folks which we are working with us, they help us bring this cost down by 25 to 30% easily. and rest would be something which would 5 to 10% would vary from city to city and zone to zone based on the labor charges available and costing of different licensing or permissions. But yes, 15 to 20 lakhs is something which I can say as a standard for a 2,000 square feet area. And if you look at it correctly, I mean, between 12 to 14 months, most of your investment is you are at break even, and because it's a sustainable industry, going forward, from the second year onwards, you start making profit on the site.
And who develops the entire infrastructure? He's somebody who just invests and pays this money, or he takes care of the entire development and hands it over to you?
So there are two ways to go about this. If the person is or the property owner is want to get the construction by themselves, they can absolutely go ahead and do it. We just need certain specifications which we'll be providing to them of how the layout and everything will be done. Because in the end we have to rent out these kitchens, but in case they want help in terms of how to go about it, we are more than happy to provide them construction assistance of the layout plan and people who will help them build these kitchens. So both the models are fine with us. We don't have an issue if they want to do construction on their own end, till the time that a particular quality level and the guidelines which are given to them, those are followed. They can do the construction on their own, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of property owners are also in the construction business and they would like to take it themselves. So, I mean, why not?
And what are typical, tenure of the agreement which you sign with the franchisee one, and what are the lease tenure for a property, an average that you do?
So, I mean, the contract timings can vary based on discussion with different parties, but because it's a long-term project, we want to go into a contract which is somewhere around 5 years, which they are working with us for at least, let's say, 5 years. But again, like I said, from side to side, that is something which can be put into consideration, and the intention here is to at least do a contract for 5 years.
Okay. Now, if I take up a question, while we did talk about a rent of 30,000 and 60% of that is given to the franchisee, which is 90,000 we have taken. But on the other side, we also talked about a 10% share from the overall revenues which the restaurant would do. And what kind of references can we draw? Because running these sites, typical one restaurant could do an average of what kind of revenue, and if we convert that to 10%, and out of that 10%, 60% goes to the franchisee and 40 is retained. So what would that be on a lower side on maybe and on full optimization level?
Right. So any brand which is coming in, if let's say if a known brand, for example, let's cite a biryani brand. If a good biryani brand, on an average from any particular site which has been live for 6 months, they intend to do at least 8 to 10 lakh rupees of GMV to just to reach a level where they are comfortable with the operations of that particular kitchen. So and then there are brands, North Indian brands, which currently are working with this, and they are touching revenues up to 20 lakhs. Even after COVID, they have again stood up and they have started reaching 20 lakh rupees of GMV monthly. So there are times when you need to go back to these brands, when there's a 20 lakh rupees GMP going into place. Sometimes you have to give them a rebate of certain amount, because 2 lakh rupees of rental would be part of would be the rental coming across only from this one brand then. So I can easily say that in 3 to 4 months of time, a 5 to 6 kitchen hub should ideally reach the net business of somewhere around 28 to 35 lakhs. Yeah, that is the intention, because otherwise it won't be sustainable for these kitchen folks also to work there, right? I mean, 6 lakh rupees, 6 to 7 lakh rupees is an amount which is minimum for any kitchen to sustain, barring whatever cuisine it is. So even if you consider that 6 lakhs, it automatically translates into 30 lakh rupees of GMV, even if all of them are breaking even. So as the market grows and a good hub gets stable in first 5 to 6 months, post that, I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay. And also, because talking about the sites, because I see a lot of interest on the sites, and I saw, we answered one of the questions also. So any immediate sites that you think are available for a franchisee to take up, in case, because you already scouted for these locations, can a franchisee take up these locations, invest and get started? And do we have any such sites which are readily available as we speak?
So are you saying that site is available and we would want somebody to come in and take it on for us and then create
Yes,
it and share it?
yes.
Yes. So see, this is something which we get a lot of queries, and we keep on finding new zones. Like for example, if you are in Gurgaon and you are searching for one particular zone, we have our eyes set on 5 to 6 different sites, and uh, based on the discussions which are going on right now, we would like to work with a couple of them. And so see, what happens is sometimes one single zone can have 3 hubs also, if that hub is a high area zone. And sometimes one particular zone, because of probably not the right property available, we might have just a hub of just 3 kitchens, just one hub. So this is something which, if people are interested, we can create a sort of a listings where we would be interested for you guys to, I mean, for investors to come in and help us create their properties. Absolutely, there are properties. I don't have any on the back of my mind right now, but yes, there are properties for sure,
Great.
which people have reached out to us, but they don't have the bandwidth or the financial power to create the kitchen on their properties. And we can absolutely help you align with these folks. And uh, if somebody wants to invest in somebody else's property and they combinedly want to work with us, we can help them out on that.
Okay. Very helpful, Madhur. And because I feel a lot of information that you wish to maybe keep aside for one-on-one discussions, we can do that. And since we have interest coming from all across, would you want to suggest maybe a time or a date where we can bring these prospective investors to you, and which locations? Because most of the locations outside your presence would be on telephone, and some of them might even visit you locally. So let us know how do you wish to go about it, and when do you think is a date we can keep? You need and you need to give us maybe the next 5 to 6 days time to filter the interest from the audience which has come today, and we can align meeting face to face or bring them on a call with you.
Absolutely. I mean, we can do this probably end of first week of January. I mean, I know a lot of folks are on leave right now, and it might be a time when they're back to office. We can pick this up in the second week of January. We can absolutely do it. And meanwhile, with whatever queries you have, and like you asked today, that if there are sites where we would want people to come in, those are data points we would also like to get ready for you, for folks, and we can definitely take this up in the second week of January.
Sure, that would be helpful. And friends, because a lot of you have been asking on the number that you can connect, we've also put a hotline number, and we would request you to kindly reach on this number. And also our advisors who are in your respective cities and regions would also reach out to you in the course of this week and filter your profiles. If you have a location property, it would be helpful if you specify the complete information and location, floor, and where it is located. And we can even request the team, Madhur, if you want to share any form, for people to fill in before they come to you. As far as the property is concerned, that can be done at our end. And because this is FOCO, we're not too concerned on the experience of the people, but property would matter. So they can be some information that you want us to capture. We'll send across to our prospective investors who own the property, and within a week we get them on a call with you. Great. And before we finally sign off, Madhur and Gautam, would you like to maybe spare a minute and share maybe a final message from your end to all the people who are listening to you?
Yeah.
So there is. Sorry, I will just firstly cover up one part. Sorry, Madhur. Firstly, while we are focusing majorly on the FOCO model, which is for our kitchen infrastructure and our kitchen supply, we would also welcome any sort of opportunity or any sort of query for all our other models in case there's a master franchisee or a normal sub-franchisee model, if someone is intrigued in those models, or if any basically all the 4 models that were described, or if it's just a normal kitchen and you are a brand owner or you want to just open up your own kitchen, we would be happy to welcome all such queries.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I would just like to add on. I mean, we have spoken enough about ourselves. What want to highlight is that there is, apart from us also, I mean, there's absolutely immense amount of opportunity, which is currently in the delivery business, and with the current scenarios of COVID and the country moving towards a globalization where, food is just, a person wants to cook only when it's necessary. And we want to change that. And, people should only cook when they want to. And so the intention here is to provide this ecosystem to everybody, and which benefits not only the property owners, which benefits not only the restaurant owners, which helps that even the delivery folks and the delivery staff, which is working with all these aggregators. There's a big opportunity which is coming in, and the next 5 to 6 years, I believe, is going to be tremendous in terms of the amount of investment and work which will go into this. So if you are anywhere closely interested with the food industry, absolutely get in and jump in into this.
Thank you very much, Madhu. Thank you, Gautam. Over to you, Sonia, for your last comments, and also highlighting that there is a very important show which is coming in, friends, on 31st and 1st. We have 2 days which are top 20 franchise 2021. So we're bringing about 20 different brands on this show. So please register yourself. We have limited seats on that, so please go out and register yourself. And because we are filling this registrations very, very fast. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you, friends, and thank you, Madhu and Gautam, for joining in. And kind of echo, today most popular eateries also have come omni-channel operations, operating out of cloud kitchens as well. And restaurant partners can also test new markets, expand intra and intercity also with the infrastructure support, and a lot of data analytics, which through technology companies like you can offer. And for franchisees, find out what value proposition you have to invest in the business. And we welcome inquiries from all of you, and set up maybe a half an hour or a 45 minutes call with the team. And with this, friends, wishing you all a very happy new year and a great day ahead. Thank you. Thank you, Madhu. Thank you, Gautam. Over to you, Archit.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Gaurav sir.
Thank you so much, Madhu.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Gautam. Thanks, Madhu, for joining in today. Thank you, dear participants, as well as our panel member, for joining us today. We'll just share the information with you. Just give me 1 minute. So please do write to us at our business hotline number, which is 97176-83838. That's the number where we invite all your suggestions to share your detailed profile, your property details, your interests, so that we can help you with the probable solution. You can also connect with us at our different social handles. Information on your screen. We request you to please join us at the Facebook page of Franchiseindia Brands Limited to rewatch all the previously done brands independent franchise show, as well as all the submits we have done for you. You can write to management team of Franchiseindia at their respective LinkedIn ID. That's the information on the screen. And tomorrow we are inviting you to join the journey of shawarma craving. That's the brand we are presenting you tomorrow. Sharp 12 p.m. We'll talk about this particular great brand. It's under the low cost opportunity where you can start your business within a bracket of 5 lakh rupees. So please do not miss this chance. Join us tomorrow to understand their journey. At the same business hotline number, you can get a registration link. Once registration would be done, you'll get a confirmation mail from our side. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good day, friends.